All right, so we're looking to find the exact value of each of these expressions. We're essentially evaluating cosine of 120 right here. Well, it certainly helps to think about where that angle 120 degrees is. 120 degrees, well, there's 90 and another 30 degrees gets us to our terminating side. Think about your reference angle here. Your reference angle would be 60 degrees. If that's 120 degrees, our reference angle would have to be 60. So think about that point. Think about that point on our unit circle. 60 degrees. Right there, we would be over a half as our x-coordinate, and we would be going up square root of 3 over 2. Cosine would be our x value, so this would be -1/2. It's that simple right there. Look at this, tangent of 7 pi over 6. Well, once again, helps to see what's going on here. 7 pi over 6, well, that is a full pi. That's 6/6 of a pi and another 1/6. That right there, 7 pi over 6. Think about your reference angle there. That was exactly 1 pi over 6 that we went away from the x-axis, exactly 1 pi over 6. Well, if we think about our reference angle there, and we think of what is our sine and what is our cosine of pi over 6, well, sine of pi over 6, essentially sine of 30 degrees, is going to be a half. Cosine of pi over 6, cosine of 30 degrees, is square root of 3 over 2. Of course, we're in this quadrant right here. We're in the fourth quadrant, so they're both going to be negative values. So we think to ourselves, well, tangent is sine over cosine, so I'm going to do a -1/2 divided by a negative square root of 3 over 2. Negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, so I can ignore the negatives now. This is a half times 2 over the square root of 3. The 2's cancel out. I'm 1 over the square root of 3. When I rationalize that, I get square root of 3 over 3. Cool. Finally, cosecant of 15 pi over 4, and get rid of all of this. Finally, cosecant of 15 pi over 4, draw me a graph. 15 pi over 4, so I'm going to think about my coordinate plane split up into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pi over 4. What is my reference angle? Well, right there, my reference angle, it would take another pi over 4 to get me to the x-axis, because that would be 16 pi over 4. That would kind of complete me right there. So I'm thinking about pi over 4. What is my sine and cosine of pi over 4? Well, whenever we have something over 4, it's always going to be the root 2 over 2's. When we have pi divided by 4, that's what we see on our unit circle. And we see what quadrant we're in. We're in the quadrant where x is positive and y is negative. So make sure your x is positive, y is negative. We're finding the cosecant. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So I'm going to do 1 over my sine. Sorry, it's even easier than that. Why am I making it complicated? Cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of sine, -2 over the square root of 2. Rationalize that denominator. That would be -2 root 2 over 2. Of course, those 2's cancel out to give me negative square root of 2.